Welcome, one and all audiences everywhere checking us out, looking, listening, no matter who you are or where you are, I welcome you. My name is C.Truth. I am a host of usually the show Thermal Soundwaves, but today we're doing a special event where we're going to be talking to a filmmaker that's going to be in the CONCH International Film Festival. And for those who are unfamiliar with the film festival, it celebrates all of the film directors and the writers of the Caribbean diaspora and the Caribbean as a whole, whose work inspire social change and many other things as well. Today, I am joined by someone who does things on the animation tip. She's a storyteller, a writer, animator, and she goes by the name of Amarise DeFranco. Did I get that right? The pronunciation?
Yes, you did.
Okay, perfect. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Amarise.
Well, hi. Yes, my name is Amarise DeFranco. I am a 21-year-old animator studying at CalArts right now. I'm entering my senior year. I am a visual development, character designer, kind of illustrator artist, but I am pursuing animation because I just love I love the genre as a whole, and I love the filmmaking process, and I'm really happy to be here today.
Beautiful. So what was your first foray or introduction into just the whole world of film and filmmaking process that made you want to do this as a profession?
That's a really good question, actually. My mom used to tell me this story about how for my second birthday, because she used to just like play movies on the TV as background noise while we were having a party. And she said for my second birthday, she was playing Lilo and Stitch on the TV. And it was time for them to cut the cake, and they were looking for me, and they were like, "Where's the birthday girl? We got to cut the cake." And there I am, just like this close with my face to the TV, just absolutely glued to it. You could not separate me from Lilo and Stitch. That is, I think, still to this day, one of my favorite movies, and kind of like introduced me to how animation can be like a very touching genre, even if it's like people think it's more directed towards kids. It was just the first time I think I ever felt really touched by a movie and like had like an emotional impact on me. And then I think I was just always surrounded by animation, and then kind of naturally discovered it's something I could do for a career. I genuinely don't remember a time in my life without art or animation, so I think it's just always something that's been a part of me, honestly.
And have you considered or ventured into another area of filmmaking outside of animation, just regular like filmmaking without the animation part to it?
Not really. I do sometimes wonder what it would be like to go into like live action, or if I could have like that type of like traditional film background. But I do just love how limitless animation feels. I do like it, I think, the most out of like any type of medium for film. I enjoy it a lot. So I've kind of just existed within the animation circle.
Gotcha. And filmmaking in general, it takes a lot to get done, and a lot of different ingredients and pieces and people to pull it all together. And I would take animation as kind of a little bit even extra with all of the details and the drawings and the graphics and so forth. So tell us, for those who do not know or understand the world of making a animated film, some of the things and components that goes into making one.
So yeah, you're right. It is a lot. It's a lot of moving parts, and I don't think a lot of it would be possible without collaboration, at least for my film specifically. So if I had to kind of separate the pipeline into three parts, I'd say like pre-production, production, and then post-production. My pre-production process took me quite a while, just because I really wanted to nail down my idea, and I had a lot of outside factors, especially with my film being a film that I made during school and it being a school film. I had kind of like a set amount of time to kind of come up with my idea and everything, and it took me probably a year and a half to nail down really what I wanted it to be. So the story beats, the colors, the characters, all of that stuff, that took me around a year and a half. that was my favorite part of the production process. I absolutely love pre-production. It's really fun to kind of just throw ideas at a wall and see what sticks. And that's definitely when you need the most collaboration in terms of feedback to see what's working, what's not working. And I really have to thank my classmates for being like the most receptive people ever and helping me kind of progress my film to what it is now. Production, definitely I needed the most hands-on for that section. I had a big team of animators helping me because I only had a couple of months in the school year to actually finish my film since I took it into my third year. I had only 3 months to animate my entire film, which isn't as much time as it seems, honestly, but it would not have been possible without the team of really, really talented animators, including classmates and even some people overseas who decided to be so kind and help me on my film. And post-production went by pretty fast. You know, most of the pain and suffering was over at that point, so it was really just tweaking it, making it pretty, adding a little bit of sparkle, making the colors a little bit more saturated there. But as a whole, I don't think I would have been able to finish my film without some helping hands, some other artists who really wanted to help me see my film come to life. So I really have to thank everyone who worked on it. And if you look at the credits of my film, you will see the long list of credit names. Shout out to all of them because they are incredible.
Definitely. If you're just joining us or if you're just catching this in part way, midway, my name is C.Truth. I normally host a show called Thermal Soundwaves, but today we're doing a special for those filmmakers that are going to be involved in the CONCH International Film Festival. And we're talking to filmmaker, animator Amarise DeFranco today. And your piece, LAKAY, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece. For those who haven't seen it, we're going to let them know how they can do that. But tell us about LAKAY and the story and what it's about.
Of course, and thank you for the kind words. So LAKAY is it's the Haitian word for home. So that's kind of gives you a little bit of a premise onto what the film is about. It basically, I'm a Haitian American myself. My mother is Haitian and I grew up in Miami, Florida. And so I've always felt really connected to my Haitian background. And I kind of just wanted to, my film is kind of like a subtle, not really autobiographical. There's definitely a huge piece of myself in my film, especially kind of with the topic of the distance that I feel between me and my culture being like kind of an Americanized version of what my family had. And just, you know, never going to my home country and kind of being like, I don't know what this is about, like this is my life here, and just not really feeling as connected as I feel like I should have been to just my background and my heritage. And the film follows the journey of a young but naive girl named Michaela who isn't really too excited to visit her home and not super enthusiastic to learn about where her mother came from. But she goes, she visits her country through a very special dream, and she's kind of guided by a familiar stranger who kind of shows her what life is about, all the misconceptions that she kind of thought about it, and just proving to her that she should be proud of where she's from and that her country is a beautiful place. So that's kind of like a very shortened version of what the film is about, but it has a piece of myself in it, and it was a really fulfilling journey to work on it.
Yes. Now, are you considering or thinking about doing a long feature to it, like a longer actual film?
You know, my mom has actually asked me this question. I'm honestly not sure. When I was originally making my film, without any edits, like the film in its purest form was probably going to be over 10 minutes. But since when I made my film, I was a junior at my school. And in order to qualify for kind of like the big school film festival, you have to have your film under a certain time limit. And my time limit for that year was only 4 minutes. So I had to figure out how to make this like over 10-minute film into like a little itty bitty 4-minute film, which was a hard process. And I did have to sacrifice a lot of like cool little details or just like a lot of things that I would have liked to have had in there, especially things that kind of put on display the beauty of Haitian culture. I did so much research on it, and there's just so much that didn't make it into the film, which is why pre-production is my favorite part, because I got to explore all of that during that process. But LAKAY was the first film I've ever made, and it was a really interesting journey to kind of learn the film pipeline and really push myself to completing a project that massive. And I feel like the story on that one, in my eyes, has closed. I do feel like I got the closure I needed to on that one, especially after working on it for so long, like almost 2 years in production, which is a bit longer than the typical student at CalArts takes to finish their film. And I do feel like I got what I needed to out of it, and I could close the story on it without feeling like oh, did I finish? No, I do feel like the story is finished, but it's definitely not the last film I'll ever make. I'm definitely excited to make more projects, but I do think that I'm subtly closing the book on this one.
Right. And do you see this, because this could also be like a series, like a cartoon series. You can do books with it. There are a lot of different things that you can do with LAKAY. Just from me looking at it, I mean, you can tell me, but I see a lot of different avenues that you can take with it.
Oh, well, thank you. I never thought about taking it sort of like the series or book direction, but if anyone is ever interested and kind of wants to greenlight that, and for me to gives me the go ahead to start production on that, I don't see why I wouldn't. But in kind of like a self-initiated type of level, I think I am done. But if anyone would like to see it become something more, I don't see a reason why I'd say no.
Right. Now, is this your first year of involvement with the CONCH International Film Festival?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so far, and what do you feel, and how is your reaction to the film festival and being involved in it and what it's about?
Well, I feel like as a Black and Caribbean filmmaker, I feel like we're always looking for just exposure of ourselves in the media. I'm not really seeing that a lot, which was kind of an inspiration for me to make this film in the first place. I am as of right now, one of the 2 Black girls in my entire program at my school. And so representation isn't really a thing. So I had to kind of put it upon myself to do that. So it's really nice to see a film festival that promotes creators just like me, who kind of are making the same types of things that I'm making the same types of things that I'm looking for even. And it's just, I think, a really beautiful thing that in this day and age we have kind of like a whole film festival just dedicated to creators like us. And it's really, I think it's a platform that we all deserve. And I actually didn't even hear about the CONCH International Film Festival. I was reached out to by one of the, I think, runners for it. And they like urged me to submit to it. And I was like, oh yeah, like of course. Like,
Right.
yeah. So yeah.
Definitely. And for those who wanted to find out more information about it, you can see it right there below the screen. CONCH-IFF.com is where you go. And of course, come out to the festival that's happening this year in New York City, out in Forest Hills. It's back live with people in the flesh. So you get a chance to talk to the filmmakers and some of the organizers and the people that are responsible for putting on such a great festival. Like you said, something that's unique and something that addresses a lot of voices that don't normally get that particular exposure. Mm-hmm. Now, what are some of the other spots and some of the other areas, like in film or just with your art, that you're looking to do in the future?
Like where just like the kind of direction I see my art going?
Yeah, or just some of the other projects or things that you want to work on.
I kind of right now, since I'm in my senior year of college, like I previously said, I am kind of just trying to figure out what I want my senior project to be. And I'm kind of taking more of a direction in, because I feel like it was very cathartic for me to finally make a piece that was like about me and my culture and just kind of like that. It's a film idea I've had for a while, so it was nice to finally make it. But I do see myself moving in other directions, but I'm still very much going to be highlighting like Black stories and Black characters, but I see it being in less of a culturally type of spotlight kind of way, and more of just like here's these characters who have like this like kick-ass action story, but are also like very closely tied to like things I've seen growing up, and like maybe even based off of people I know in real life. So I definitely don't think I'll ever stop having Black characters or making Black stories. But I see myself going in a direction right now where I'm kind of trying to test out different genres of storytelling that I haven't tapped into before. So right now I'm actually really into action and drama. So I know I'm like taking a hard left from the fantasy genre that you know me from, but I'm really into action right now. I'm kind of pulling inspiration from a lot of movies I saw growing up. And even if it's not action, just kind of gritty films, like I'm really, I grew up watching Spike Lee and I love his stuff. And even his more recent work is kind of inspiring the direction I want to head in right now. So kind of think of Black storytelling in a Spike Lee type of way. I would love to kind of tap into that, like almost Afro surrealism, kind of like real stories, but with a really unconventional way of telling it. I love that kind of unconventional storytelling style that he has. I think it's really inspiring, and it's inspired me my whole life, and I would love to work on a project like that this year.
Absolutely. So give me a couple of your favorite pieces of films or TV shows, whatever it is that's out now that you're into. And then after that, let everybody know where they could find out more about your work and what it is that you're doing besides being at this year's CONCH International Film Festival.
All right. So a couple of pieces of media. Do they have to be current or can they be a little older?
Well, I was asking for current, but you can give me whichever that you like.
No, I can give you current. I can give you current. I'm just like so one of my favorite shows that I've watched recently is actually on Netflix. It's called Blue Eye Samurai. There's only one season of it out right now, but I know that there's going to be a second one. I think it's fantastic. Probably one of the best TV shows I've watched in a while. It's yeah, it's just fantastic. Please go check it out. It's a Japanese story. And another show that I'm really, really hyped for, the second season is actually coming out kind of close to my birthday, so I'm considering it a birthday present to me. Arcane. Arcane season 2 is coming out, and I just absolutely love that show. I've watched the first season probably 3 times. Amazing storytelling. If you want to get into not even just animation, but just like if you want to see some good storytelling, please watch Arcane. It's actually based off of a video game franchise called League of Legends. And I had no prior knowledge to it, but that didn't even matter. I was just so fully immersed in the story, and it's amazing. I think those are my top 2 favorite shows right now. Yeah. I don't know if I can think of a third one. Probably.
That's okay.
Yeah, probably Bluey. I like Bluey. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a children's animated show, but it's really sweet. I like it. It makes me cry. Yeah.
And you can give me one classic too that you like. That's not current. You can give me one.
I'll give you a classic. Yeah, on the topic of Spike Lee, Crooklyn, that is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Childhood classic, absolutely brings tears to my eyes every time I watch it. Amazing storytelling, and I can only hope to achieve that same type of grace when handling such story topics like that. So yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. A lot of people haven't seen Crooklyn. Please go watch it.
Lovely. And where can people see more of your work and find out more about what you're doing in social media and stuff like that?
Yeah, so anyone can find me right now. I'm mostly active on Instagram. You can find me at Amarise, that's my first name, .psd, as in Photoshop file. So amarise.psd on Instagram. That is where I post mainly. I'm also on YouTube. I'm sure that's where some people have seen my film. I'm also planning on uploading some more content on there sometime into the middle/beginning of the year. I am actually planning on releasing a video on how to make a film as kind of like a solo first-time film director, and as someone who probably has no idea what they're doing, and as somebody who's also a major procrastinator, you know, just something for the people. So you can also find me on YouTube at just Amarise DeFranco. And that's kind of the only social media places where I'm active right now, but hopefully to be in more places in the future.
Definitely. Well, thank you for taking time out to join us here, especially talking about the CONCH International Film Festival that's going down this year out in Queens. Make sure you come out, join us in person, in the flesh, to talk to people like Amarise and other filmmakers and directors and producers and all the people that are in the artwork, because it's more than just visual and on camera. There's behind the cameras and so many different pieces that you're going to be able to interact with, you know, when you come out to the festival. CONCH.com is where you go for more information. And thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this a lot.
No doubt. Much success to you.
Thank you.
And there you have it, folks. We'll be back with some more filmmakers, artists, right here as we are covering the CONCH International Film Festival 2024. I'm C.Truth. We'll be back.